So my question to you right now is, who are you without your depression? Who would you be today if you woke up without your depression, without that feeling of shittiness that you're waking up to and going through right now? Who would you be without that feeling? Because when you can think about that feeling, and I should say feel how you feel without your depression, feel yourself without the depression. If you can imagine yourself, sit quietly for a second, imagine yourself without that depression. Even for a second. It's a small feeling, I get it. But small feelings compound into bigger feelings. So when you can start off just for a glimpse, catch it for a second of, wow, okay, I can imagine how I'd feel. And that, even if it's a fleeting moment, sit with it. Because what we're trying to do is change the feelings we're having inside. Right? Depression is a shitty feeling. But I want to blow the cover off this. I don't want it to be something you can't talk about. Because the more you can talk about, understand that you're not alone in this. As a matter of fact, the rates of depression and mental health is pretty high, as we all know, right? So you got to understand you're not going through this alone. You're looking at somebody, hearing from somebody who is at the depths of darkness, the worst I've ever been through my entire life. And I got through it. I got to the other side. It wasn't easy. I had to have conviction, and I had to be committed, and I had to believe, right? I had to believe there was a better way. When every ounce of me was trying to kill myself, and every ounce of me did not want to go on, and every ounce of me felt like shit, I had to dig deep. And you can too. There's something inside you that's keeping you alive to this point, right? You're here listening to me. Use that as a first step and say, okay, I do have this inner strength. I have the power inside of me to persevere. What we want to do, we want to build on that power you have inside you. That's important you hear that, because you have something inside of you right now. And there's no person, no doctor, no professional, no scientist, nobody on this planet Earth is going to change my mind about my conviction, how I feel that you, human beings, were created in God's highest form of all creation. That's the thought that propelled me and started changing my brain to see life differently, and eventually to feel that. Now, I had to convince myself in the beginning because there was this huge weight of depression over me that was very heavy. Okay, and I was in a routine. I was in a bad loop. So before I believed it, I had to say it. I had to convince my brain, because remember, I feel the mind trains the brain. I had to convince my brain that I was going to beat this thing. How? I had to have a bigger view of life than I currently had. My bigger view came from realizing that I started from, I really obviously known this my entire life, but I really honed in on it. This really clicked and helped me feel differently about myself when I really sat there and thought about the concept, the miracle of life. How we start off in this liquid form, and now we're sitting here in a body with a brain, eyes, nose, ears, mouth, arms, legs. Your body was created from a liquid form. Now that blew my fucking mind when I sat on that for a minute and I stopped to really realize the process of life. I'm not saying this is gonna work for you, but it may trigger something inside your brain that says, okay, I get what he's saying. What would I put in this place? What would you put in the place of the miracle of life that I used? Whatever that thing is that you feel fascinated about, even if it's only a small fascination right now, find something you're fascinated about. Like the miracle of life fucking fascinated me. It fascinated me to the point where I'm like, okay, I want this to begin to change my view of life. In other words, I was born complete. I wasn't born incomplete. I was born a miracle, and so were you. We're born as miracles. We're not born as depressed people. Okay, depression is something I feel I learned how to do very well. I adopted a mindset that allowed me to become a professional depressed person. I became very good at it. I became very good at anxiety, worrying about what worst case what ifs. I learned that early on in childhood. I saw it subconsciously. Just as I learned how to speak my English language, I learned the language of depression. I learned the language of fear. I learned the language of anxiety. I learned the language of being a worried person. I had great teachers around me. And now I'm not blaming them. I'm taking full responsibility. And that's how I was able to change my ways and change my situation and circumstances, because I took responsibility. Instead of pointing the finger, if you point the finger, there's three fingers pointing back at you. Don't point and don't blame. You can do a non-judgmental observation of your life and realize, okay, maybe I didn't have parents who had it all together. And honestly, God, I don't know any of us know parents who had it all together. Okay, some cases are more severe than others. I get that. Take your situation, accept it for what it is, and take responsibility to change the situation. I'm here to help you in any way that I can. So if you guys want to DM me, message me, reach out to me, let me know. And when you hit that like button, what you're really doing is you're telling me, Brett, I'm getting some information, some value out of these videos. And that will help me continue providing this information to you guys, because I really want to see you on the other side of this thing. I said it before, what if? Is it possible that in 6 to 12 months from now, you're on the other side of this thing thinking, holy shit, I can't believe how fucking good I feel. Start off, go back to remembering how bad you felt at this point. And let's watch the progression together. And then maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 months down the road, you're like a new person because you have a new mindset, which started with a new thought process. You guys, please be fucking bold, stay bold, and I'll see you on the next video.